Looks like it's locked in for September. Please tell me what's your opinion on that fight and the ways that both guys can win that bout.
I thought we were going to do this in 5 minutes. How the hell are we going to do this in 5 minutes if I'm going to answer all that? But
6.5.
All right, I'll do whatever for you. I appreciate
I know,
that you're a nice person. So, listen, I think it's an intriguing fight. I think there's been a lot of intriguing fights happening with Turkey Al-Sheikh in the last year and a half. Fights that have both been, I think, wanted by the fans and needed by the sport. He's been helping the sport in that way, bringing us fights that, again, are intriguing, are competitive, are the fights that we weren't getting and that we need to get. And this is one that falls into that category. Look, it goes back to the question in the history of the sport, one of the old time-honored questions. Who wins, the real good big man or the real good little man? And it asks all those questions that come with that. And that's one of the reasons why it is such an interesting fight. You can look at it two ways. You can look at it as the obvious advantage of the bigger man who's very experienced, who's been a world champion a long time, Canelo, tremendous fighter. You can look at him and, say, oh, with all his experience, his skill sets, his resume of fighters that he's fought, champions, everything, that with his size, he's going to have the advantage. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's dangerous, all those things. And then for me, I can look at the other side of the ledger, and I look at the smaller man and say, wait a minute, he's faster, he's craftier, he's experienced too. He's been a champion too. He can wind up where the other guy could be too strong and too powerful. He could be too fast, too slick. And he's also shown that he carries power fairly well, moving up. I know with the Matrimorph fight that a lot of people will say, no, Teddy, he didn't carry his power to the 154-pound class. Now he's going up even another one to 168. How are you going to reconcile that? Again, he wasn't really able to catch Matrimorph, who was much better than people gave credit for, having only 10 fights with his amateur background. They didn't understand how crafty he was. He wasn't able to catch him real clean. But again, it's not going to come down to power. If the smaller man's to win this fight, he's going to negate the power of the bigger man. And he's going to find a way to make his skill sets the ones that are the most important in this fight, that dominate this fight. Speed, again, craftiness, the ability, to just again negate the power of the bigger man, the ability to disarm the bigger man. In the sport in the United States, baseball, which is a sport that's been around a long time, not longer than boxing. Boxing's been around longer than any other sport, but baseball, national pastime in America. Sometimes you get a pitcher who throws the ball and he throws 100 miles an hour. His power just overwhelms the batter. But then you get a guy who only throws the ball 80 miles an hour, but he moves the ball around. He hits corners, he changes speeds, he uses his guile, he uses this, he keeps the batter off balance, and he disarms the batter. He takes the bat away from the batter. You gotta love that. I know a lot of people love to see the ball go over the fence and love to see the home runs, love to see the knockouts. I get it, but I love the science. The real fans, they love the science, the sweet science, where if it's not the science of a pitcher hitting strikes, moving the ball around, like I said, taking the bat out of the hands of the batter, it's the science in our sport of boxing, where a guy can disarm the fighter, take the power away. And that's kind of what Crawford has the ability and the task of doing, where he's going to have to go into this fight and be that pitcher who hits corners, who changes speeds, who does take the bat out of the hands of the hitter. the hitter being Canelo in this kind of analogy. So I look forward to it. You can make an argument for both guys.
Of course.
I think that both guys are special, but I think Crawford has special. I know he hasn't fought the level, or not just the level, but he doesn't have the resume as thick, obviously, as Canelo does of so many fights and so many champions. But I'll tell you something, he's got enough, and he's got enough for me. I think I've been in the business 50 years. He's got enough for me where it's caught my eye, where I believe that there is something very special. I'm not saying they're both not special, but there's something very special about Crawford, that he has that it factor. And I think that at the end of the day, that'll be the intangible, if he's to win this fight, that it factor, instincts, all those things that go into that it factor, that at the end of the day they will show. And maybe the smaller man may have his day with the bigger man.
Do you think boxers that move around like Lara gave Canelo problems for Mayweather? You know, obviously gave him problems, he beat him, and even Amir Khan was ahead on the scorecards. Do you think like a mover and a faster guy like Crawford is the style, the kryptonite?
I just said that. I thought I just said that. Hopefully I explained it right. I just said that. If he's going to win, his ability to use his legs, to give angles, to show guile, to show cleverness, to be slick, to show you what the sweet science is all about in that kind of dimension. Look, there's different dimensions to the sweet science. Roberto Duran used to display the sweet science. A lot of people didn't understand that. They thought he was just a seek and destroy guy, a caveman. No. He was a guy that, he was a counterpuncher, but he was aggressive. He forced you to punch, he made you miss, and he counted. But he did it in an aggressive fashion. So a lot of people that don't know the sport couldn't appreciate that level of what he was doing, the expertise of what he was doing. They couldn't appreciate it. But that was a display of the sweet science in itself. So Canelo understands the sweet science. He counterpunches. He knows how to set traps. He can do all those things too. But I think that if there is to be a downfall to him, if there is to be an exploitation in this fight, and you try to exploit things in a fight of a weakness or so on, or strength of yourself, I think it would be along the lines of what I said earlier, where Crawford would like to exploit maybe the slower feet of Canelo, where he can't close the gaps as quickly as he would want to, especially at this point in his career, where he's getting up a little bit in age. And he would take advantage of that, beat him to the mark, and then, change distance, get to the side, give angles before Canelo can come back. So I would think that he would like to keep him more balanced, obviously a little bit the way that Lara did, a little bit, but that was a long time ago with Canelo, but a little bit like Lara did, obviously Mayweather did, which was a real long time ago, along those lines.
No, thanks a lot, Teddy, and I really appreciate that. I personally, I think Crawford, if anyone's going to do it, it's Crawford. If anyone can pull it off. What do you mean
if anyone can pull it? Let's not forget Bivol beat him.
Up in weight though, but
that way. But I mean, Bivol...
That's another one, Bivol, we forgot. I forgot to mention him.
Well, I didn't forget.
You didn't forget, Teddy got me there. Mover and boxer, gave him troubles, Do you think there's been a decline to Canelo at all in the last few fights?
Not a decline. I think there's been a transition, a change, a metamorphosis, which happens when you get older. Sometimes it's like a wine. It can get better. Where you get smarter. You slow down in certain areas, but you get better in other areas. He doesn't throw as many punches. He's not he doesn't engage as much, not as active with his hands as much, no doubt about it. But he is better in other areas. He's more concise with his punches, with his selection of punches, where he doesn't waste anything. Where when he throws, he's throwing it, in a specific manner to be accurate and obviously to be impactful. Like he's shown his last couple of fights. When he did throw, bang, he threw the uppercut at the right time. He threw the hook at the right time with Belanga, to score the knockdown. The uppercut obviously was with what was it? Was with De La Hoya's fighter.
Jamie Munguia.
Munguia. You know, where again, when he did throw, he didn't throw as much, but when he did throw, it was at
Makes him count.
Yeah, it was at the right time, the right place.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Teddy, mate, and so good to see you again, my friend.
About the record, but we see Canelo just take Crawford. He only fought one elite fighter. What's your thoughts on that and who you got in that Canelo?
Well, you know, that's total bullshit. That's total bullshit. See, because here's another thing where that's concerned. Bud has been a boxer since I first met him, he was like 13 years old. So Bud has been tested in national tournaments, Olympic trials, Pan Am Games. We were in Venezuela together in the Pan Am Games. He's been tested so many times along the way that when he got to the higher levels in professional boxing, he made it look easy. And a lot of times, the guys that he made it look easy against, those are probably the guys that Canelo are saying, oh, that's nobody, it's nobody. Nah, dude, that's who they put in front of me. That's who the champion was at the time, and I beat him. And just like Bud said, everybody that they put in front of him, he has beat him. I'll never bet against Bud.
Kenny,
I got Bud.
Kenny,
I never bet against Bud.
You think the pressure is now more on Canelo not to lose to the smaller man? And as far as the push in the second press conference, how realistic do you think that was?
I don't think either one of these guys feel pressure. These are the guys that are built for pressure. So, you know, Canelo stepped up against Floyd when he was, 21, 22 years old. He was a kid. Nah, there's no pressure for Canelo, right? And as far as Bud, he cool as the other side of the pillow, man. You know, he just, no, I know that personally. I know that personally. This dude is, you know, he's ice cold. Ain't nothing but, you know, ice cold running through his veins. And so there's no pressure. And then on the other side of it, as far as, you know, who's the guy that's better prepared for this? You know, each fight is different. Neither one of them has fought anyone like the other. This is the first time for either. So there's going to be a little fill out going on. And then I also expect that Canelo thinks, as he should, as if I was training Canelo, I should as well. I would feel the same way. He's got a size advantage, right? Even if Bud comes in at, you know, the same weight, the size advantage goes to the man who's been comfortably fighting there for a long period of time, you know, for a longer period of time. Give me a second, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that as well, but I think Bud overcomes that. You know, he usually, with anyone he's in there with, he usually figures them out. He's got this little thing in his brain that figures out everybody's in there with.
You know, Oscar had made a video after the second press conference, like I said, where he said it. He was like, man, that shove, that push wasn't real. It was staged. What do you think? And do you think that's personal now?
I actually didn't really study the push. I saw it one time, right? I mean, let's keep it real about what's going on in boxing today. Everybody's doing that. So is it staged? Well, when I get ready to get that kind of fight, I'm going to do it. So it's already known that somebody's going to do something like that before they get there. So is it staged, or do they know when they get to that level they should be pushing? That's what we do now. That's what happens now in these kind of face-offs and things to build up the fight. So
Canelo and Crawford are going to face off with each other. What do you think about that fight? He's moving up 2 weight classes.
I'm happy for both fighters. You know, Crawford getting another serious young African-American fighting him. You know, it's been a while, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, he's alive. Canelo is the GOAT, and it's good for Terence Crawford to see that guy, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for Canelo to see him. You know, it gives something for the boxing world to talk about, and everybody looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, if you were training Terence Crawford to go into this mega fight with the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, how do you beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez?
Keep doing what you've been doing. Why would I change up what he's been doing? He's been winning. He's been getting the job done. You know, when he shut down Earl, that was perfect. It ain't like he ain't been in no big fights. That was a fight everybody thought they was gonna get a roller coaster, and it went Terence.
That was like, Hagler Hearns. You thought you didn't know what was going to happen.
We didn't get that.
And he dominated.
We didn't get that fight that we thought we was going to get.
Yeah.
And then seeing Canelo and him do it, everybody said, man, we might get the fight that we're going to get.
But let's just say hypothetically, Coach, you're in his corner. He knows what he has to do. But any guidance that you would give him, any little tips you would give him, you think?
How would I say? Like I say, I wouldn't change up anything Terence doing because he's been winning with
me.
So why would I change up anything that he's been doing? Especially if I'm in his corner.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Unless you see something, maybe, right? Like while the fight is going on.
That's how I work.
Oh, okay.
That's the type of energy I bring. But what I have been seeing him when he's in the ring, he's been flawless with it. You know what I'm saying? But again, Canelo is the GOAT. He's the man to beat. So that's what makes fights. You know, everybody keeps saying styles make fights. It ain't nothing about styles. It's the fighters that's going against each other. That's what makes the fight. That makes the fight.
All right. And who are you leaning towards? Who you think's gonna take it?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, because again.
All right, I'm gonna give you $1,000 of my money, and I need you to place a bet for me, Coach Ford. Who are you gonna bet the money on?
I'm gonna bet on me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Canelo is good at that weight class that he at.
Yes.
Terence is going to this weight class.
Yes.
My thing is, will Canelo get old overnight?
What did you think about his last performance?
He had some good performance before that.
With Skull though, but Skull was running, right?
That's not Canelo's fault.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not his fault.
I'm not going to beat him up because that wasn't the type of fight he's ready to go into.
Yeah, he was on the bicycle, Skull.
That's not the type of fight he's ready to go into. So at the end of the day, you can't blame Canelo for that performance because that wasn't his fault. The guy didn't take the fight to him.
Yeah, that's not his
So we can't get mad with that. But like I said again, my thing is, and this been on my heart, is will Canelo get old in the ring that night?
Absolutely.
It's been a while, you know what I'm saying? But so far so good. Nobody ain't really pushed him to see would he get old in the ring that night, you know? So it's going to be a good fight for the fight fans, you know what I'm saying? The fight gods. Everybody looking forward to it. There's something to talk about.
Absolutely. Terence Crawford, he has that mean spirit in him. Do you think it's possible he'll get a knockout and knock out the steel chin of Canelo Alvarez? You think it?
We ain't seen Canelo get knocked out.
I know. But if anybody could do it, maybe it's Bud.
Like I said again, different beasts.
Yes.
You know, tell me when you seen Canelo get rocked.
Miguel Cotto's brother, only one time in 60-something, yeah, that was, I don't know, 20 years ago.
And then let's go look at that from there. Look
Absolutely.
who he is.
Absolutely.
So then go look at who, only person Terence really walked through was Earl.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a fantastic job doing it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Not disrespect to Earl. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, what's going on with Earl? Earl didn't look the same to me. That fight, you know, he didn't look the same. Something was going on and whatnot. But I was looking for that fight because both of them was #1 in my book. Because everybody was saying, "Yo, who #1 in your book?" I said both of them because they both ain't fought against each other. They both in the same weight class. You know, I said Terence is more decorated. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But they both got the same status. You know, until that fight, man. Crawford is the man. You know, so again, he ready to go against the man. You know, so I'm waiting to see how it unfolds, and I wish the best of both of them.
Biggest fight of the year, they're calling it Canelo versus Terence Crawford. What are your thoughts on that? You know, a lot of people are not giving Terence enough credit. They think that he's going to step into, you know, the lion's den. What are your thoughts?
I'm always going with my dog Crawford, man. I'm with Crawford, man. I'm Crawford. I'm Team Crawford all the way, and I'm not just saying that, you know, for no other reason. I just think he's a great fighter. This is his era right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. He's a very great role model.
Yeah. But man, everything about Crawford is solid so far. So I'm going with Crawford.
Yeah, you know, you see these videos that he drops of him, you know, and his kids training and stuff like that. And you know, you don't see a lot of boxers do that.
I'm with all of that. I'm with all of that. He ain't out here being negative. He ain't out here in the, you know what I'm saying, in the news, you know what I'm saying, giving bullshit. Like it's all good right now.
If you could give us a prediction for that fight, Crawford versus Canelo.
Decision, Crawford.
Crawford moving up 2 weight classes to 168, facing Canelo Alvarez. How do you see that fight playing out?
I think it's going to be a great fight, #1. I think both guys are going to be in great shape, like always. And look, you know, I'm favoring Crawford because I just think Crawford is an awkward fighter, and I think he's going to give Canelo a problem just because he switches both ways, and he won't be running all around the ring like School did. You know, Crawford is a great counterpuncher also. Crawford is everything a fighter needs to be. And I think he's going to show Canelo different things that he haven't seen before.
Absolutely. And Coach, if you were training Crawford, what would be some of the keys to victory that you would tell him?
Use your reach and touch his body.
And that's the keys. That's what's going to open up Canelo Alvarez.
Absolutely.
All right, you got it. Coach Ronnie Shields, the great. It's Johnny Boy Boxing at Fight Hype. We'll catch you at the fight.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
You had EJ in there with Crawford. You were in there with Jermell and against Canelo. Now those two are going head to head in September. What do you think about that matchup, and who do you like?
What I think about the fight is I think that first of all, I know they're fighting, and I think that the person who wins the fight is the one who can implement their strategy the best. If Crawford stands in front of Canelo, then it may be a different type of fight. But if he boxes him like he should, I would think they use all of his attributes, it'll be a different fight. So I think they well can implement what they do best to be the one to successfully win the fight. And I think that, I'm not going to say he like two, but I think Crawford should be able to do what he needs to do to be successful.
I know you've been trying to hang him up for some time. You've been in boxing your whole life, but yet, again, you keep going. What keeps you going and training fighters?
I think just like teaching fighters and fighters learning and whatever. So I like to teach them and teach them. I like to teach, I like to learn. I like that people really want to learn and be successful. And he's just like that, so that's why I'm still in boxing.
Now, you faced Canelo, right?
Yes, I did.
Now, with Danny Jacobs, what's the biggest weakness you saw in Canelo that Crawford can exploit?
Moments of inconsistency.
Okay.
Where he won't continually attack. But I think he might be working on that. I mean, any smart trainer would be like, this is what we have to do because we weren't doing it before and we can't wait. It's a very interesting fight. I see a lot of things up online about it. I say it's going to be a pretty exceptional affair. I have to favor Canelo only because he's been the king at 168 so long. And I think he's going to work harder than he ever has just because he doesn't want his name to be tarnished by coming up short against a man that came from really 140 to meet him in the ring.
Definitely. Do you think Canelo is slowing down at this stage of his career, or is he still dangerous as ever?
No, I think he's still dangerous. I think he's sort of content. He needed something like this to get the engines running and the fire burning again. And I think we're going to see a very exciting fight.
And what do you think about Crawford at 38 years old? He'll be 38 on fight night. Do you think he's slowing down in him?
Well, I mean, we all slow down. I mean, it is what it is. That's what Father Time does to us. Exactly. Mother Nature beats us up, but Father Time ticks it away.
That's right.
I think that my problem is that my boy TC hasn't been in the ring for a moment, and lack of
over a
activity tends to lead to rust and just not being able to articulate like you usually would. Gym work is one thing, the actual fights are another. But if anybody can bring it to the table, it'll be Crawford, and that's why I'm saying it's going to be a very entertaining fight.
Definitely. And if you were in Crawford's corner, what would be the blueprint to beat Canelo on September 13th?
To keep moving, don't stand there and let him load up, because he hurts light heavyweights. He can punch, and he's got a granite chin. So my thing would be keep utilizing your jab and keep him off balance.
Definitely. And what's the one mistake that most fighters make when they're facing Canelo Alvarez?
I think they think he's not that big a puncher. He's not that strong, and they find that out very quickly. It's not the truth.
Yeah.
He's both of those things and some, and he's a tough competitor. He knows how to win.
Definitely. And when Jacobs fought Canelo, did you see moments when Canelo looked vulnerable?
I saw a few. Quite honestly, if we would have worked a little bit differently, I think Danny could have definitely won the fight because he had the skills and the capability to do such. And the scores were indicative of a very close fight.
Absolutely.
But, that was then, and this is now. And Canelo is learning all the time from these bouts. So it's tough to exploit the moments when he's always sort of changing his step and changing his stride.
Absolutely. Who has the better boxing IQ, Canelo or Crawford, and why?
That's a tough question. I think they're both very, very smart in the ring. They really are. They do different things, and they'll be like, "Oh, Canelo has concrete feet." Yeah, well, you know what? He's had concrete feet from the very beginning, but he's getting the job done against everybody.
Definitely.
Crawford is ambidextrous, in which he is from both sides. I mean, he fights very well from both sides. I think that people think it'll be easier for him to really take the lead and articulate from the southpaw stance, but I think they're going to work on it and work on it hard enough so that he's ready for it. So once again, it come back. I really come back to ground zero on it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it myself. I really can't.
That's it. And who has the better corner for this fight, Crawford's team or Canelo and Reynoso's camp?
Well, they both. They've both been with their teams forever. So I say that's 50-50.
Okay, definitely. And if Canelo loses to Crawford, where do you rank Crawford on the all-time great list? Is he better than Floyd, being that they both faced Canelo?
Well, I wouldn't say he was better than Floyd because Floyd has fought so many good world champions. And
26 world champions, the most ever.
Who can compare to that? You can say whatever you want, but if TC wins, I know it's not going to be by a stoppage. So if he wins, it'll be by ring savvy and articulation. So that's the same thing that Floyd did. So you got to say, okay, fine, dandy. But he's up there. Crawford is up there. Even if he doesn't win, I give him 50 points for daring to be great.
Absolutely.
Daring to be great because everybody, he's still in his own, he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still a legend, and I think, regardless of the fact, that they both come out winners.
Absolutely. The fans, we agree. We know that we have to give Crawford that credit, but the fans, as soon as you take a loss, oh, he's a bum, he's this, he's that. They're so fickle. It's like,
Yeah, but they're not the ones getting in the ring with these guys.
Absolutely. They don't know boxing, right?
It kills me. They're so quickly to try to disdain you, bring you down, talk about you, run you through the mud. Come on, people. Let's get real about this. It's tough in this game.
Absolutely.
So I give all the flowers when I can, and these guys are amazing athletes, and I believe it's going to be an amazing show.
Absolutely. My final question: if Terence Crawford was able to get a knockout over Canelo Alvarez, it has to rate high. Like, how do you see that? Where do we rate him?
I can't even speculate with that one because honestly, I can't.
I don't see it happening, but
anybody stopping Canelo.
Yeah.
I fought the same guys that Canelo fought. I fought Triple G. I had worked with Kovalev. These guys can punch.
And they couldn't do it.
And they couldn't. I mean,
it's the punch that you don't see coming. The switch hitting of Terence Crawford, maybe no.
No, I don't care what. Listen, I don't care about that. The bottom line is some people just like Marvin Hagler.
Yes, the best switch hitter in boxing. Exactly. A lot of people consider.
Exactly. You can hit it like Tommy said when they fought. He said, I hit him with my best punch, and then he said, last but not least, I went to the kitchen sink, and I hit that sucker with that. He looked at me like I was crazy. He said, I knew I was in trouble then.
Oh, man.
So, needless to say, some guys are just destined to not be that guy. I don't see that happening at all. I just happen to see a good fight. I hope that they bring their best to the table and I hope nobody gets hurt. That's where I'm at with it. 2 future Hall of Famers, 2 legendary boxers, 2 multi-undisputed champions. Let's get it. Let's rock it. Let's go.
I want to talk about the super fight, September 13th, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. You face Canelo. Abel, you have the game plan how to beat Canelo Alvarez. I feel that Triple G beat him, both fights. But, who am I to say? What are your thoughts on the fight? And what are some of the tricks that Canelo does that Crawford needs to be aware of?
Well, in in my opinion, in order to beat Canelo, you're gonna have to be willing to take a shot, and to press him and make sure that you keep him busy and keep him backing up. If you can't muscle him, if you can't be more effective than he is with his punches, and you push him back, then you're not gonna beat him. You leave him on the outside, he's gonna pick you apart. He's gonna pound your arms. He's so damn strong, just like Gennady was. Guys like Bivol that were able to press him and be stronger than him and just keep activity on him. Those are the kind of guys that are gonna beat him. Terence, I don't care if he goes up to 200 pounds. It doesn't have that in time. Doesn't have that. If he would have done this, if he'd have fought 3 or 4 guys already at that weight and built up his work ethic and his strength by competing and by beating guys at that weight, then I could see it. But he's ballooned up to whatever it is that he is, which is, in my opinion, the worst thing he could have done. But then again, who am I to question a Hall of Famer like that, right? But if it would have been me, I would have kept him at 170 pounds. The weight that he's going to fight at, that way he wouldn't have to lose nothing. He'd be as strong as he could be at that weight, instead of, from what I understand, he's in the 90s. If he is, maybe that's just hype, I don't know. But if he is in the 90s, he's going to have to drop down to the high 60s. That doesn't make any sense to me. But he's a Hall of Famer, man. He's a great fighter. I just don't think that he's big enough. I don't think that he's strong enough to be able to muscle a Canelo. My opinion, the first 3 or 4 rounds, Terence will have an advantage because of his speed, hand speed. But once Canelo assimilates and gets used to the combinations coming at him, I think that it's a sparring session again for Canelo, as he's had in the past with the last 4, 5, 6 fights that he's had. After the middle of the fight, it's a sparring session. He's just having fun, throwing punches and beating on people. I think that's what happens in this fight. I see Canelo going away towards the end with a decision.
Well, most likely the judges, it'll be hard to get a decision from Canelo Alvarez. So what adjustments would Crawford have to make during the fight in order to be successful?
I think Terence needs to make sure that he presses as much as he can. Of course, that he's as active as he can. It's a 12-round fight. It's not a 3 or 4 round fight. He's going to have to be P's and Q's for 12 rounds, and to be able to do it for 12 rounds, nobody's been able to do it except for Floyd when this young man was very, very young. We were able to do it in a couple fights, but he's a different guy to fight, especially when he starts pounding. I know you got Terence is going to be getting hit by a truck. That's a big, strong guy that anywhere he hits you, he's going to damage you, and not only zap you in strength, but damage your physique. I think it's a difficult fight, man. I hope it's a good fight. The public, I think, is looking towards a great fight. I hope it's a good fight for the public, but I see Canelo winning.
Absolutely. Who has the higher boxing IQ? Who's more intelligent in the ring?
I think they're both the same, man. I think Canelo does things in the ring that, listen, he's outsmarted everybody in that he's fought except for Floyd when he was a baby. Terence didn't look too good against Madrimov, did he? And Madrimov was able to hit him with some shots, and so they're both very smart. I just think that the difference is the size.
Okay, now, if Crawford, he talked about being on Mount Rushmore. He's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of boxing if he's successful against Canelo Alvarez. If he does it, Abel, let's say he does beat him in a decision, Canelo Alvarez. Where do we place him on the all-time great list?
I would say he'd be one of the. I'd say in the top 10 for sure, maybe even the top 5, 10. But top 10 for sure. But he's gonna have to beat Canelo and not get robbed, and Canelo get robbed. Okay, it can't be a gift. He's gonna have to beat him down and beat him so that there's no question at the end. If there is, then I think we all get cheated, and he gets cheated.
Absolutely. And if he was spectacularly able to knock out Canelo Alvarez, which is highly unlikely, but anything can happen. It could be the punch that you don't see coming, and he knocks out Canelo Alvarez. He has to go. He's higher than top 5, right?
There is no way in this earth that should even be contemplated. Gennady Golovkin, who's probably one of the hardest hitters of his era, couldn't hurt him. Couldn't hurt him. Bivol, who is a pretty good puncher himself at a heavier weight, couldn't hurt him. Didn't Gamboa hurt Terence?
Yes, and the Mean Machine dropped
Yes.
him, but they didn't call
Okay,
it a knockdown.
Okay, so I mean, you're talking about a guy that's got a neck the size of Terence's thighs, who has been hit by the best and the biggest, and has never even been rocked at that level. Okay, yes, he got hit with a left hook by Cotto, went against the ropes, but didn't go down. It was more off balance kind of shot. So for me is something that I wouldn't even contemplate. I wouldn't even talk about it. And somebody wanted to bet that, I would most definitely bet that.
Okay, but Abel, there was a guy with a large neck named Mike Tyson that was a 42-1. He was hyped. He was the favorite to win the fight, and he was knocked out by Buster Douglas. I understand they were both the same weight class. Buster was obviously taller than Tyson, but it can happen. And you don't think it's happening? I don't think it can happen, but anything can happen. Somebody can get old overnight, right?
No, absolutely. No, it can happen, but they both have to be in the same weight division, I think.
Yeah.
Douglas was hitting big guys. Tyson was hitting big guys. Terence is not hitting big guys. Terence hasn't been hit by big guys, big strong guys like that. So, like I said, it's for me, it's not even a subject worth contemplating, even thinking about, because it's so far fetched that I think it's ridiculous to even think about it. For me, anyway.